For any person that in this room that is running a startup or that is starting, every challenge that you're going through, it's the same challenge that I'm currently going through, and some things I've gone through them, but I'll continuously go through. And the things they say, as you grow, the challenges become bigger. They don't stop. You know, some of the challenges, rejection. Some of the challenges, people doubting your product, even family. The time you start becoming best friends with your product, your idea, your vision, your dream, just even from your significant other, or your family members, or even some of your business partners. As you go along and it starts getting difficult, some of them will drop you, some of them will leave the idea, and also just how the system has been designed such that we graduate and we work for corporate companies, or we work for either the private sector or the public sector, but it hasn't been seen black people like ourselves of our skin color coming to change or break the status quo, to come up with our own businesses and play alongside the big boys, the big girls. We're still starting, and when we're still starting, the system doesn't favor us, because instead of a lot of the companies, I know a lot of companies empower young entrepreneurs or small businesses, or they incubate them, but a lot of them at some point they starting to see you as competition. And when they start seeing you as competition, because they've been around for so many years, they've got the systems running already, it does become difficult for a younger or smaller business to compete. And you're not even looking to compete, but some people, if they start seeing you as a competition, they will make certain things difficult for you. But then you also do find in certain structures you're trying to get in and people just don't understand it, and just for the sake of saying no, or just because maybe Mhaule or you black, for the sake of it, instead of helping you, they don't. So whatever you're going through, any challenge that you might be going through, it's the same challenges that people like myself and Sammy are going through.
Thank you very much. Round of applause, please. That's for encouragement. Sammy, when you got an invitation to come here, I believe you saw DJ Sbu and me. What came to mind? Because I believe that, and I really appreciate that. Why? Because you don't see it as a competition. Because the attitude that people have, you would have cancelled and said, or either DJs would say, I kick you up here, Ali. So, but that for me, guys, you have showed us that you understand that you are in your market, your own industry, individuals, and you are all pioneers, and you are all pushing what you're doing. Sammy, you look young. I'm sorry to say that. And you might be young.
He's been saying that.
Tell me, as a young person, what motivated you to just say, corporate, goodbye. I'm just going into a business. I'm going to take this stride. I'm just going to struggle. I'm just going to see what I'm going to do to where you are today. What motivated you and kept you going?
I think let me just hit it from where you start off. Me and him, we go back way back. We've known each other for I don't know how many years. But I want to...
By the way, you were Mr. Tendisa, at one point.
There's a disclaimer right there. There's a disclaimer, we just put it down.
Okay.
Everyone doesn't know that I was Mr. Tembisa. But the core thing that interested me to be here was, when you're running such a capital-intense business and you have somebody like Sbu doing it at the same time, you don't necessarily look at he's my competition. You're actually looking at what can we achieve together. That's what it's all about. If we stop seeing each other as competition, then we're moving forward. One of the greatest things when I was doing my research, bringing my product to life, was that it has always been compared to DJ's Booth, but most of the people have never known that actually he's my brother. We grew up together. And our product is now available nationwide in all the stores. We've cut through the red tape. The issues of, do you have another face behind? We've passed all through those red tapes as well.
All right. Perhaps let's just contextualize this. One of the previous speakers spoke about Robert Kiyosaki and this concept of the 4 quadrants. Okay. And the key observation for me is to say, it's not about creating millions of entrepreneurs. It's about creating entrepreneurs that have the ability to scale, to become businesses, and businesses that have potential to scale to become investors. So that's the progression that we're talking about here. So the challenge that we have, in my observation, is a supply chain manager principally, who goes out looking for goods and services from small businesses, right? Is that small businesses think small and act small, without the capacity to act small, but with the potential to scale. Okay. And that's really the challenge that we have here, to say, yes, while it's important to be enterprising and to have the agility of a small business, it's important to develop your business with the DNA of scalability so that we can potentially be able to service larger corporates. The second point is that one of the speakers spoke about the frustration that small businesses have in penetrating corporate supply chains. And to the extent that you said it's not even worth the effort, okay? And I don't think that's the case. I don't think the case. I mean, if you're going to talk about mining, there's a perception that says mining is a dying industry. And let's dispel that notion. Even if you spoke to the minister, he'll tell you it's not the case. South Africa is predominantly a mining-based economy, right? It accounts for in the region about 10% of the GDP. It's an important base of the economy. If you translate that into procurement spend, we're talking about in the region of about maybe 150 billion rand potential spend that the mining sector actually expands in the domestic economy. So, and the most difficult thing here, and the most painful thing here is that by and large, the goods that we procure as mining-based economy or by mining-based firms are still procured from foreign-based companies. So that's the challenge, right? So the challenge here is to say, how do these small entrepreneurs that are operating in this room figure out how to scale up to be able to produce the kinds of goods that can be able to service these large enterprises? So you can be able to compete with multinational organizations, whether they're based in Japan or Germany. But what that requires is a mindset and an institutional capability that will allow you to act at that level. So that's the first submission that I'd like to make. It's not necessarily about the startup capital, but it's around the systems that small businesses put in place, the knowledge capability that they develop within themselves to be able to produce these high quality products that can be able to compete with the large multinational corporations that typically compete with them in our supply chains.
I think the first thing, you just got to be a traveler. And being a traveler, that's part of self-development, personal development. You become a better person, you understand other cultures, you learn other countries, you see what other things are big there. And as an entrepreneur, you might even end up bumping into business opportunities that you can come back home and localize certain ideas that you're inspired by and implement them here, or see an opportunity to go back there and create relationships with other entrepreneurs that you've met and do business together. And for me, the traveling has opened up so many doors where we're not selling much, but we are selling some containers to Ghana, some containers to Zambia. I partnered with a big Tanzanian artist in Tanzania. His name is Ali Kiba, business partner of mine, where we're taking more fire, we sell more fire to Tanzania. We're in obviously Lesotho, Botswana, Swaziland, but we just keep growing. But those opportunities were opened by me traveling and speaking at forums like these. When I don't get invited to come and speak, I invite myself. When I'm traveling, my holiday will be turned into me visiting some universities because I know somebody, and I tell them, can't you just organize a gig? I'll come and DJ. Organize me an institution, I'll come give a talk. I don't want any money. I'm always just willing to offer myself to create relationships and open up opportunities for me to be able to go and export in the future. And what I've been able to do is just not only want to invest not only want to grow outside of South Africa before mastering my business here at home first. I've had to let go of a minority stake of my business about 2 years ago to a company that has got experience in running brands and luxurious cosmetics brands. And they've got an experience in running brands and in distributing brands, who came on board. And in terms of corporate governance, they're looking after my business, they run my business well, although I'm hands-on with my business partner, but I can be comfortable now and say in 2019, I want to just go around the world and go look for other partners that can be able to come on board and invest big and take my brand internationally.
Wow, that's good. Actually, you answered the question I was about to ask. So as you go international, do you look at opening it to others to buy into your business, or those terms? So you did answer the question.
Yes, some other people are willing to come and give you money, just like lately it's been happening. A lot of people offering us money, and we're not turning away the money. It doesn't mean because we're rich, we're turning away the money. It's not the right money. We want somebody who's going to come and give us money, but who's going to be able to absorb us into the system and contribute in growing this baby. Not somebody who's going to throw money at us and expect us to run around every day to make it a success. We want somebody who's going to come on board with the expertise and grow with us. But we're not only relying on somebody to come on board. We are going to keep going and going and going and just looking for partners, making that noise, living the dream, living the vision. Because for me it's easier because I give talks, I write books, I DJ, I'm always exposed to people. And I'm also inspiring a new generation, so people want to know things from me. So it's easier for me all the time. Even here, I'm invited to come and talk, automatically becomes a marketing exercise. So I take advantage of it.
That's true. Sammy, I was expecting the round of applause from the floor. But it's okay, you give me next time. Sammy, you having ventured into this business, would you advise another entrepreneur to focus on one business or to diversify while building one product and one business and one systems? Because I believe that you just explore with ideas somehow, but now having started your line of product, has that limited you to venture into other opportunities, or you just said, you know what, that's it, I'm retiring other activities, this is what I'm going to put my mind in?
I'm not going to start something else up until I'm a master on this, you know, but that doesn't stop another person, you know, venturing into different things because we're different. That doesn't stop. It has to do with your focus as an individual. How do you see yourself? What is your vision? For me, this needs 100% of my attention. So which means I have to be hands-on, I have to seed growth. I'm planning another 2 range that's gonna go with these 2 babies already. Okay. But now, I have not conquered South Africa yet. So before I can even think about another product, I still have to make sure that I'm comfortable at home. By the time I distribute myself outside of SA, I'm comfortable enough to allow the business to flourish itself. If the business can flourish by itself without me overlooking what's happening all the time, I think that's the good sign that signals as a director that, you know, you're ready to move to another thing. One of the key things, I'm a serial entrepreneur, you know, already the ideas are flowing, you know. Does that mean that do I have to act on them now? It's about the right timing. How do you implement? How do you strategize? Do you have the right key people that are going to be involved in those ideas that you have? And I think now 2018 is going to end in a bang. 2019 is going to be something else for many great entrepreneurs, because I truly believe that 2018 was a year of preparation for many entrepreneurs. 2019 for us as a company, we're venturing in other different models of business that are almost, you know, out of the beverage space. You ask me, why would I venture into? As an entrepreneur, you have to see opportunities everywhere. You know, do you solve this a problem? Do you bring solution? And that's where my mind rolls in. But for somebody who's starting a business now, focus on that small business now, see it grow, nurture it, and see it thrive. Then you can move to the next thing before you can, you know, give birth.
Thank you very much. Again, thank you. To those who are attending today for the first time, and you're wondering why there are no ladies here, I'm both. Okay, I'm just kidding. We had Ladies' Day. They rocked. And you know, they were taking the stage, they were owning everything. So we had a day dedicated to them. So please, as you see them, because I know some, you'll find that the mind, your question is why there are no ladies there. So yeah, having to follow up on what Sammy said, very important to say, you need to look at focusing on one thing. I just want to pass on to Mr. Sandile to say, Mr. Sandile, you receive a lot of proposals from businesses every day. And some of them you'll find that you end up not knowing whether this is a construction or it's a catering or... And now you end up, when you do the selections, and you just throw the one that was having a potential based on the profile presentation. What advice can you give to young entrepreneurs to say, when you come to us, this is how you have to prepare yourself, for us to identify, to know who you are, for us to understand that we don't lose the right person we should do business with, and take somebody that after 3 months you realize, hang on, the profile was lying here.
So I think you understand my pain. No, but it's understandable. You know, the challenge which many small businesses, especially in our host communities, we operate in some far-flung areas. There's this temptation to say any opportunity that's available, I'll take it. Whether it's cleaning, whether it's catering, whether it's security, and that's a normal temptation. And what we're increasingly finding is that when we segment our spend, as I say, whether you talk to any other buying manager, there's a high concentration of SMMEs playing the same space. So we are playing in merry-go-round of musical chairs. Okay, so the one guy gets a contract, next day you have to cancel the contract, there's a new guy getting the same contract. But in the strategic categories of spend, so you look at the things that are core to our business, whether it's supplying equipment, whether it's contract mining, or any of those high value-adding services, you find very little participation of our SMMEs, especially those that need to be transformed. So that's the first point. So what the advice I would always give is to say, think about positioning yourself in the same way that you would position yourself in a CV. All right. So when I read a profile, it's no point for you to list, okay, this is Khumalo trading. Okay, what do? You just go to the glossary, you list all these 10, 20 things there, and then you say you have submitted the profile. It doesn't make sense. I don't know where you're based, I don't know what you've done, I don't know who you are. So part of what you're always looking for when I'm reading a profile is that in the same way that you read a CV, I need to know the person. So I need to know the jockey, because the registration of the company doesn't say much. So who's the jockey? So I'm Sandile Khumalo, I'm an engineer by training, I've got these qualifications, this is my background, this is my story. That kind of sets the context. The next thing is to say, all right, even though I may have started I'm a serial entrepreneur, like in your case, okay, I've got a beverages company, I've done this, that says a lot about yourself. To say, listen, even though I'm not necessarily applying for a beverages tender, but I've got this context, I've done this before, and I'm capable, all right? Then you then say, fine, if I've done this work, similarly to your CV, you outline your story. This is what you've done, these are my responsibilities, this is the value of the contract, these are the references that I've got related to the work that I've done. Yeah. Those things make it a lot easier for me to then separate you from everyone else. So that's the one piece of advice that I would share. The other point that I wanted to maybe just raise, which is the point that you raised previously, is around what support do we give? And I didn't answer that question correctly. Say, given the challenges that are unique to some of the SMMEs in the space, one of the things that we do realize is that it's not enough just to give the guys money, right? And I think one of our colleagues might have spoken about this yesterday. He said, money is not enough. You need to then be able to support some of these small suppliers by ensuring that you can imagine in your space this issue of consignment. All right, consignment is going to kill you, to say that you need to deliver the items and you'll be paid 30 days. Those are unfair payment terms. So part of what we do as an organization, as an example, is to ensure that all black-owned SMEs get preferential payment terms. That means, amongst other things, being paid immediately, that's within 7 days of invoicing, or where applicable, we might even be paid before invoicing. That's one such practical example of some of the things that we do over and above this issue of providing financial support, mentorship, and training. So those are some of the things that we really need to work on as an industry to try and support all these guys who've done an excellent job, for example, in making sure that you present your proposition to us, but once you're inside, to make sure that you do succeed and you're able to put your best foot forward.
Thank you very much. In the audience, I see Shelley. I met Shelley yesterday. I just want Shelley to just tell us what Exxaro did for you, for your business. Because you are here, I see you now, and it's mentioning the kind of support. I wanted to confirm what Exxaro is saying, because you were so excited about it. She's from Mhaule. They had to transport it here to be with us, just to be part of it. Have a round of applause, please, because that's so just in 1 minute, just share with us your experience with Exxaro, and you were excited about it. Just show me that excitement.
It's more than... I met Sandile in April. Yeah. And then he said to me, in 2 days' time, I have to submit the documents. I take the opportunity, I grab it with both hands. I submitted it. It was not easy. They were starting to do this ESD. Sometimes they would call me to Pretoria just for 5 minutes. Just imagine traveling from Liphalale to Pretoria for 5 minutes. And you know, I get to, I said, why this? Yo, I never knew. Then the other day I was called. I never disappointed him when I do my pitch. The board, could understand that I know my business. I'm confident. They asked me about my background. I said I was a teacher, then I resigned. I was a safety officer. I've went on schooling. Education is very important to understand the policies and all the stuff. To cut the matter short, I'm here today. They've paid me. I'm staying in the hotel.
They paid for you, right?
Yes. For 6 days. Yeah. You know, I don't want to spoil the best cake that they gave. They gave me 10 million without. Take me from zero, to a hero.
Wow.
Once you have got a financial breakthrough, you can open all the doors. Yes. Now, after they've given me the money, I went to Mitsubishi. They want to partner with me because now I'm going to big companies. I'm no longer. It's because of them. I'm financially free.
Wow. Thank you very much.
I've partnered with SME. We're doing the maintenance in the power stations.
Okay.
And finally, I've got another guy from Netherlands. We're starting the mine. So
yes.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this is to engage, right? To compensate, to just have that engagement. So if it's specific to one, then I'll just ask, but it's to everyone, I'll just ask one panelist to respond to that so that they can give us a closing, remarks, then we can wrap up. Thank you.
Okay, no, thanks. My name is Sibusiso. I'm from Mpumalanga. My question is directed actually to Mr. Sandile. I think he's the relevant person. I've just been currently selected to attend an ESD program for Exxaro. But now I just want to check that how does Exxaro now intends to integrate its supply chain with actually a value chain of black young industrialists, actually in the context of actually becoming or participating in the mainstream economy. Thank you.
Okay. It's a twofold question. So, what my understanding of the question is that you're talking about how do we integrate our beneficiaries of our ESD program into our supply chain. But then there's another question that is kind of inferred there to say, how do we intend to integrate black industrialists? I don't want to assume that those are the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to separate those two. Okay. Our view, again, let's start by saying, what is our intent? Our intent is to ensure that we leverage our capability and knowledge as a mining player to develop diversified and inclusive communities. So that is our interpretation of what we intend to do with our ESD program. So that means we need to do two things. The first is to say, yes, support potential suppliers with the view of integrating them into our value chain and seeing how our spend, which as I said, in our case it's about 8 billion rand of total spend, how do you make sure that we maximize as much of that, or ensure that as much of that as possible is spent in our local communities and in South Africa. So that's the first aspect. But we must realize that it cannot be that the totality of our host communities will be dependent on our procurement spend. Yeah. So part of that means we must then invest in promoting genuine entrepreneurs who are doing all of these kinds of things. So we want to support them, whether you're in agriculture, whether you're in beverages, whether you're in the retail sector. Those are the kind of ideas that we want to support, because we understand that mining is a finite economic activity, and like Johannesburg, it was built on the back of mining, but 100 years later there's no mining, but you've got all of these great ancillary services. So we understand that it cannot be integration at all costs. So that distinction is absolutely important. But where we do realize that there are opportunities for integration, part of what we've said, and this is the challenge that I'm putting forward to say, all of those suppliers who want to integrate in our value chain, please, we don't encourage competition in the red ocean. There's this concept of red ocean and blue ocean. Let's go into the blue ocean. Where is the blue ocean? Let's look at the strategic services that we're talking about. Be patient, develop the capability, study mining, and then you can come to us with a proposition to say, you want to play in this space. Yeah. Contract mining, you want to supply a particular widget, etc. That's the space that you want to bring in our suppliers into. Okay. Then the last point, I can stop it.
I'll make sure that I see you after.
All right.
Yeah, I'll make sure that I see you.
Okay.
You can give us the closing remarks, please, and read just the closing remarks, and yeah. Or you just have to take a breath. Yeah, we can start at just a closing remarks, sir.
Closing, robotics is already here. AI, the future, online. The market is existing over there. You can even if you don't have a business, just go online, learn how to start an online business. People are already interchanging and selling products in dollars, euros, and pounds. You can get in there, learn how to sell other people's products. You don't have to have your own physical products. Just learn online, learn from there and just grow. But online, guys, that's the future. And then apart from there, people that are going to be industrialists are people that are going to be creating jobs here. So we're currently building a manufacturing plant where we're going to be servicing people like ourselves. How we started out, we're making it easier for any of you guys that want to start your own water brands, your own categories of drinks, energy drinks, alcohol, etc. We're starting a manufacturing plant which is going to launch around this time next year in 2019. I just want to wish all of you guys all the best. Entrepreneurship, let's go put in the work every day, daily. It's about the consistency. It never gets easy, it's always tough, but it's a beautiful journey. You're going to thank yourself in the end. The sooner you get into it and the sooner you fail forward, the better. And I just want to appreciate my brother here for availing all these opportunities to other entrepreneurs that can go and learn or can get incubated through Exxaro. It's just beautiful to hear those stories of how she wanted it so bad. People don't know how far Lephalale is. It's not just in Polokwane, Limpopo. Limpopo is 2.5 hours away. Lephalale is at the end, just right next to Botswana. That's how far it is. For her to go all the way from there for a 5-minute meeting in Pretoria, God has provided her. A mentor of mine told me when you've got meetings with politicians, some of you guys know, they'll call you, they'll be 1 hour late, number one, actually 3 hours late. And then from there, when they're 3 hours late still, they want you to tell you that I'm still in another meeting, stay in that desk, I'm coming. One of my mentors who's a billionaire, who always used to have one meetings at Luthuli House, he ended up having to go there with a blanket. It's fine, because when you've got a meeting at Luthuli House, just might as well cancel your whole day. Because you might end up in not even meeting that minister or that politician or whatever. But I'm just saying, patience and just that thing of wanting your thing non-stop. The vision stays the same. Around your thing, you walk it, you breathe it, you speak it, you dream it, you drink it, you eat it. You gotta live your dream, your vision, and all the best. God bless you.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to congratulate you, everyone who has made it today. That's a big step for me. It shows that South Africa is moving to the right direction. For anyone that actually is going through a tough time in their business, I want to encourage you that when one thing is dying, it means a birth of something new. You shouldn't give up. You have to keep going. You need to keep doing the right things over and over again. If that door has been shut on your face, you keep going and knocking. You will not believe that we've knocked at the same doors. No, Sibu will know this on the retailers, checkers. We've knocked almost for 2 years. The same guy rejecting our product, but today we are on their shelf. So what I'm saying to you, you have to follow your purpose and align it with your passion. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll be short. Okay, thank you very much, and I must say thank you for affording me the opportunity to sit next to these inspiring gentlemen, and also to exchange ideas with these young enterprising people from our country. Our view as Exxaro is that we are a product of transformation, we are an entrepreneurial organization, and by definition, your success is our success. Yeah. So what we say is that if you succeed, we'll also succeed, hence investing in you is an investment in ourselves. Yeah. So this is how we interpret it. So as a closing mark is that the world is big, think locally, but act globally, and the world will be yours. Thank you very much.